So before this video gets started, I just wanted to let you guys know that if you're interested in getting a Sur-Ron of your own, you like this bike and you want one of your own, go check out ebikezilla.com. I'll put it right here on the screen. Check it out. We're gonna have a ton of stuff on there. We've got bikes on the way, we got parts on the way. So it's just coming together now, and I think anybody who wants to build one of these is gonna be really happy to be able to get everything all in one place and get all the support they need to get their Sur-Ron or e-bike up to where they want it to be. So go check out the website, enjoy the video. Got my puppy. Here's Pandora. She's hanging out. She wants to sit here with us. So we'll talk. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about the next big upgrade for the Sur-Ron. So as you guys know, we've already hit 70 miles per hour. And that's a big number. That's a huge number. But we want more, clearly. And some of you know, some of you don't. We're going to be upgrading a little further. We plan on doing an upgrade on the battery next. We've done everything else, so to speak. We upgraded the controller. The motor controller is what drives power to the motor from the battery. We've upgraded the drive system to a belt. We've upgraded the brakes, which I have some more ideas for that too we'll talk about. But the big thing now is the battery. So the stock battery, stock system runs 60 volts nominal, and that has gotten us to 70 miles per hour. The new battery is going to be a 72 volt battery that is also capable of discharging at a much higher rate. Stock battery, anything over 120, 130 amps is starting to push it. And we are discharging right at that 140, 150 amp range. So we're already pushing this battery beyond where it needs to be. And I don't want to do that forever. Driving normal, just cruising around 50 miles an hour, no problem. But when we're trying to do those big speed runs, it requires a lot of power and it's taking it. So the 72 volt battery that we're getting is going to be capable of discharging well over 200 amps. And that's going to be a significant increase in power. So we're talking about another 25% over where we're at right now. And that is hopefully going to get us over 80 miles per hour, maybe even faster. I don't know. I've seen videos of other people attempting to go do speed runs on this setup, but no one has really, in my opinion, successfully achieved a top speed run with a 72 volt setup. So we'll see what we can get out of that. The battery, I'll show you a couple pictures here. It is in construction right now. Good friend Chris at Lightspeed has been working on this battery. It is a prototype for this specific fitment. You can move the battery cells around in different positions to make them fit in different ways. So we've come up with a solution, or I should say Chris has come up with a solution, to put all of the cells for the 72 volt setup into this case, a polycarbonate case that's going to fit in the stock location. So we'll be able to close the lid as stock, as usual, as normal. It's also going to have a 300 amp battery metering or battery management system, BMS for short, as well. So that's going to take care of the safety part of it. The battery is potted top and bottom to seal it, so there's no way out for a fire. So the new battery should be here probably, I would say, this weekend to next week. I'm not pushing it. I've been saying that, but you know, Chris, I told him to take his time. I want this done right. And as you can see, he put a lot of work into these batteries. He's done a lot of research and a lot of growing. His earlier batteries were nowhere near as good as what he's coming up with now. So the latest stuff that he's coming out with is definitely a tech marvel I love what he's doing, and I love the way that it's coming together. So we'll wait and see the finished product. It's going to have a volt display on it as well, like the stock battery, so that we can monitor the level of the battery. It's important. It'll be able to shut off, balance. Everything's going to be controlled by the BMS, but the BAC 4000 will still be able to control discharge rate. So we don't need to necessarily push this battery beyond its limits. I think that if we can get it somewhere in the 200 amp range, it's going to stay there. It's going to be pretty happy. So the other thing I will discuss outside of the battery is the braking. So I did upgrade the brakes. You can see we have a Hope 225 millimeter rotor. We're using a stock caliper. I put in an inquiry with Josh at Wicked Wheels, and we're going to try and build a dual rotor wheel. So we'll be able to add a second rotor on this side, and you can see this fork has the provisions for a second caliper. So that'll allow us to run two calipers, two rotors, and if I can get the correct master cylinder to pump enough fluid, we'll double our braking power. I also like the redundancy of having the two rotors as well. So that should help a lot with the braking. And as we're getting up into the speeds, at 70 miles per hour right now, the braking feels okay. I'm worried though if I had to start to push it into that 80, 90 mile an hour territory, because things just start compounding. Heat starts compounding, distances start compounding. Everything becomes time sensitive, so we need to make sure that we can stop. So right now, like I said, everything feels good. The confidence is there, but I'd like to be overly confident with that, braking especially. The other area of, I don't want to say concern, but the other area that I'm looking at is in the steering. This doesn't have any kind of dampening for steering, which doesn't seem to be a problem at this point, but I feel like at a certain point this could be an issue. Steering dampening on a bike, especially a very light bike like this, could become a problem. We don't want to have a head shake at 80, 90 miles an hour and have a problem. So we'll be looking into that, see if there's any possibility for doing a like a bolt-on steering stabilizer. Also, if you look here, I didn't really dig too much into the details about it, but we upgraded. We had our buddy George at JDL cut this on his CNC. He's working on a whole new case design for us. I'll put a couple pictures here so you can see it. So this new design is just basically a billet aluminum case that's cut, CNC cut, that will house the NXT display. So we'll be working on making that a nice, solid, waterproof design that's capable of taking the elements. Right now it's pretty well sealed, but there's a little bit of area there that could be a concern. So we'll be looking for that. If you haven't seen this display yet, it's really cool. It's from ERT, and it's instrumental in tuning this setup. It's a really nice touchscreen design with all these cool options, and we've even got stats here so you can see like your latest stats on the ride, as well as your ways of changing all of the different parts of the tuning. So a lot of really cool features in here. You can change your brake regen strength, throttle control, and that brings me to the next thing, is throttle. So the throttle on this is from the factory, a cable that runs down into a sensor, and the cable actually mechanically moves that sensor, which is mounted down in a frame. So I'm thinking about upgrading to a electronic throttle that would get rid of that cable. We'll see. I'm not convinced I want to do it yet, because this is still pretty solid, and it's not like, it doesn't feel bad at all. It's a nice throttle, to be honest with you. So, but I do like the Domino throttles. They got some really cool designs that are really rugged, and they seem to be a good fit for this build. So I might upgrade to that just to add one more piece of tech to it. Doesn't necessarily make it any faster, but could make it a little smoother, just having a little more control of the throttle. So basically, that'll round out the next round of mods. and I think we're nearing what I would consider a completion point with this setup. I'm loving it. I would, like I said, I would like to do the dual brake setup. I think that's a really crucial modification. That's probably the most important outside of the battery at this point. So the belt's still holding up. We'll see how the belt holds up. I bought a spare belt just in case, but we'll see how this belt holds up to the extra power. It's a strong belt. It's carbon, but you know, being the length that it is possible for it to lose some grip and actually skip teeth. So hopefully that doesn't become the issue. But I have the spare one just in case. I want to make sure that we retain the belt because it's so nice and quiet. If for some reason the belt doesn't handle the power though, then we'll upgrade to, or I say upgrade, we'll go back to a chain. I hope we don't have to do that though. I love how silent this is as it is. Suspension wise, everything has been pretty good. I haven't felt anything out of control. I love this suspension actually from the factory. It doesn't feel like it's lacking anywhere. This little fender has been doing good, still solid. It does work. I've been testing it, and it does keep a lot of water from puddles and sand and stuff like that out of my face. So really happy with that. Headlight has been doing good. I do have another headlight on the way that's going to be coming for the Juggernaut. We'll be testing that, and if we like that a lot, maybe we'll add it to this bike. We'll see. It's kind of like a light bar design. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more. Obviously, we're not done yet. We got quite a bit more to do on this thing, and I hope you guys are not sick of this content yet, because I'm not sick of creating it. I really am enjoying this, and I'm going to keep sharing it with you through the process. So stay tuned for that, and I'll probably get back to you guys with another Sur-Ron update as soon as the battery gets here. We'll see you later.